All right. So, hello everybody. How's everybody doing this evening? This is Raw Talk with Mello, and your girl Mello here, of course, is back. I am so pleased and excited, guys. This is our first ever Twitch premiere, and these amazing men that you can see here to my left, which I will get to in just a moment, are helping me do my very first premiere, and I'm so blessed and so excited about it, guys. So, as you guys know, we start off with getting to know the guest or the Raw of the week. After that, we will then get raw and we will discuss a raw topic, which these two are ready to go for. Am I right, gentlemen?
We're good to
Oh, we're
go.
ready.
All right. So, without further ado, I have Corey, if you could just wait for me here, and Mike, right over here, of 10 Fed. And these two gentlemen work their butt off, I must say, from what I can see personally, to help feed those that are in need. They're also very, very full of integrity, from what I can tell as well. Driven, which I like. And they are not afraid to get wrong with us whatsoever, which you guys know Mello is good for. So, guys, let's get into it. Without any further ado, we're going to start off soft and then we're going to get raw. So, Corey and Mike, first off, I always ask, how are you guys feeling today?
Feeling pretty good. We're off to a cottage tomorrow, which is great.
Okay.
But we've packed a lot of stuff into the week, a lot of things into the day, and it's going to be a much needed little break for the weekend. Put it that way.
Yeah, nice opportunity to disconnect and just enjoy nature.
I like it. Today I got out for a little walk on the nature path. I was looking at little birds chirp and everything, and I was like, oh, I need to get out of here. I need to go somewhere. So I'm a little envious, guys, but I am happy for you. Enjoy the heck out of that day tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely, we will.
Good. Think about me while you guys are out there, while you're looking at the nature and the water, okay? Alrighty. So please tell me, well, I should say, instead of telling me, tell us, the Raw family, a little bit about both of yourselves, or just about yourselves in general.
Okay, so I'll start. From a small town called Kincardine, Ontario. I was born there, raised there, and went off to Toronto when I was about 19. And I went to school for business and came out of school and didn't really know what I was going to do. Didn't know what life was about yet, like I do now. I don't know about that, but um, worked my way through some corporate stuff and then ended up opening up a landscaping company for about 7 years. And I had met Mike when I was in my early 20s, and we had talked about doing some business together, through our 20s. And but it just there was never that connection. We never really figured it out. But again, as for me, eventually I needed something different. I needed to change things up. And that's when, I ended up approaching Mike. We sort of had talked about it a bit, and we said, let's do something together. Let's do something big. So, you know, for me, it's just, I went through a lot of adversity in teens, early 20s, and I had this innate kind of feeling of needing to do something beyond just landscaping. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I just felt like there was a greater purpose for me. And I didn't know what it was yet, but I started exploring, and I've made my way through it. Here I am, and just happy to be on this show talking to you now.
First of all, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm happy you guys are on here too. I completely understand feeling like there's just something else, a little bit more that you want to do. Like, I completely understand that feeling. I think a lot of people think that right away too. As soon as you get out of school, you're supposed to know what you're doing. That is so far-fetched. I mean, for some, maybe 5%, I'll say. I agree, but I feel like everybody else kind of has to find their way. So I agree with that 100%. I like that. Mike, did you have anything to add, or did he like nail it on the head?
Yeah, no, I'll give you a quick snapshot of my story as well. Similar to Corey, I'm also from a small town. I grew up in Pembroke, Ontario. Actually, split time between Pembroke and Bancroft as a kid. Parents split when I was young, so I got to enjoy two small towns. I ended up here in Toronto for school when I was around 20 years old. Went to Seneca, and Corey kind of briefed on that, but that's where we first connected, and we've been friends ever since. We've known each other for what, probably close to 20 years now. But after school, yeah, just to touch on your point, Mello, I finished school and I was like, all right, now what? And I just ended up in different various corporate jobs along the way, and every one of them I ended up out. I was like, wow, is this it? Like, is this what I'm here to do? And every time I asked myself that question, I was like, no, this is not what I'm here to do. There's more to life than just waking up and doing the 9 to 5 thing. So Corey and I, we would always talk about different business ideas, and then we ended up going to a Tony Robbins seminar back in 2014, and yeah, 2013, and I ended up quitting my job in 2014, and made the move, I guess, less than a year after Tony Robbins, and away we went, and we just latched onto this idea, and yeah, the last 8 years have been incredible, filled with ups and downs,
Mhm.
but at the same time, great learning and growth opportunities, not only in business, but for both of us personally as well.
Okay. Woo! Okay. Guys, I told you they have a lot to unpack. These guys are not just, yeah, we do this and that's it. They have a lot to them, guys. So I hope you're listening. And honestly, Mike, thank you so much for sharing as well. I find it scary, and I think you're brave for like being able to be like, no, I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna go for this. I'm gonna do this. That is very hard to do. It's actually terrifying because I tried it once and I was not as brave as you, and I went right back to work.
Yeah,
So
a
I
lot of
applaud
people
you on
think
that.
you're crazy. Yeah, when you're leaving a stable position and all that certainty, and you're going from a ton of certainty to a ton of uncertainty, and yeah, it's a big change
But it molds you. It definitely makes you grow and it molds you. So, okay.
for
Now,
sure.
you guys are hearing Mike and Corey both say this idea. So, let's get into it, okay? So, it is 10 fed. Now, I don't want to butcher it because there's one part of it that I mainly got correct and I had to go over it with Corey a few times. So, I'm going to allow them to explain what 10 fed is exactly, and then I'll comment after that. So, gentlemen, could you please give the Raw family a little bit of background of what exactly 10 Fed is and what you do for the people?
So 10Fed, it's a social enterprise where for every item sold, 10 people are getting a meal. And that is in Canada and abroad. So people in Canada receive food as well as over 60 other countries around the world. And we do that by selling t-shirts, by selling hats, hoodies, candles, water bottles, um, and even tying in with service partnerships and corporate partnerships. So, anyways, that's the idea is that we're providing meals for people in need through this business.
There we go. See, the reason why I said I was going to butcher it, guys, is I was just going to put the one part of, you can buy, purchase an item and it can feed 10 people. And I feel like that just doesn't do it justice for what they really do. So I wanted to make sure I got it all out first. Okay. Now, what I had shared, I believe it was with Corey earlier, but I had to share it with the Raw family with you as well, Mike, is the reason. So when I choose my guests, I'm very particular of who I would like to be the Raw of the Week on my show. I want to make sure they have integrity, and I also love to know the story behind it and what they do. The reason why I respected you guys so much is because I went to Word for Laurier University in Brantford. While I was at school, I was one of those struggling students who didn't know where my meals were going to come from or what was going on. And my school had actually had a food bank. And I liked it because what they did is they gave you like a little code on a locker and you just signed up for it anonymously and they'd put like a army bag full of canned foods, pastas and stuff and they'd put it in there. So what I would do is I would wait to night at night when everybody was like asleep. Well, the majority, it's university. And then I would sneak my way in and go to my locker and get the food, and it would help me survive. And it got me through a few months of university. So, because of having that experience, what you guys do touches my heart so much because I literally know the feeling of hunger. And I appreciated it so much when they did it. So, I know so many people, thousands, appreciate what you guys do. So thank you very much personally from Mello. I appreciate it.
Uh, Thank you for sharing that
Hey.
Yeah,
powerful story.
yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, and I think that it's great that this really shows that it can be so close to home. We're sitting here chatting with you, and there's people that you might not realize that might live right next door to you, but they might not show it.
Yeah.
So it's just super important to do what we can and just help out.
Yeah. Please, with like your lives, keep this up, please. Okay. I'm also a crier, so we're not going to get too much.
Hey,
So,
cry if you want. It's
Yeah.
okay.
okay.
Hey, emotion's good.
Okay. Oh, I like this. Okay, good, good. All right, so we're going to start to get to know you guys a little bit more, all right? So let's get into these questions here. So, how did you guys come up with the name 10 Fed? What was the inspiration behind it, other than the obvious, of course?
So when we first launched our business back in 2014, it wasn't actually 10 Fed. It was called Passion 12. The idea and the concept behind Passion 12 was we were partnering with a different charity every month. So we were going to help 12 charities per year, and we're going to give 12% of our sales to these charities on a monthly basis. And
Okay.
we found out very quickly that that was really hard to gain any momentum and hard to sustain any success that we would have had previously. It was almost like we were starting our business from scratch month over month. So it was extremely challenging right off the bat. And when we boiled it down, we were actually looking for charity partners that we were going to work with. We ended up coming across Kids Against Hunger Canada, which is the organization that we're currently partnered with, small charity based in Peterborough. So we went down and we met with them, and we put this idea on the table of like, why don't we focus on one cause and just, focus all of our energy, and no more partnering with a different cause every month, but let's just laser focus on one cause that we're super passionate about, and that happened to be hunger. So we knew from our days with Passion 12 that people also want to know exactly what the purchase is helping with. So we would often get questions when people would buy a T-shirt and say, "How is this helping? Autism Speaks," or "How is this helping Water.org?" And those questions were hard to answer because depending on the charity that you were working with, the money would go to different places. So we figured with feeding hungry people, we need to make it super tangible what we're doing and make it very clear. Every single item sold does X. And we calculated it out that we were comfortable with the 10 meal mark. And then once the 10 meal mark got on the table, we started throwing ideas. 10 Fed seemed to just roll off of our tongues. And
Yes.
the idea, the concept was born from that point forward, and we just ran with it. It was the turning point.
Okay. See, I did not know all that. See, we're really sharing today, and I like it. I appreciate it. Keep it raw. So, okay, because you know what? I'm not gonna lie. For keeping it raw, I was like, okay, 10 fed. Feeds 10 people at 10 fed. But to know the story behind it now gives it so much more meaning. So I respect it. And Roz, yes, we're having this conversation right now, but after that, I would love if you guys to support those that are hungry as well. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Okay? Let's get back into it. So let's go on to the next question, shall we?
Let's
So,
do it.
Mike or Corey, or you guys can do it separately. It's up to you or together. What is your ikigai? Now, ikigai is a Japanese word for just like your purpose, your reason for being, right? Why you get up every day, right? So, what is your ikigai?
I mean, it's definitely changed over well, all through life, but particularly over the last 7 or 8 years. That purpose has changed over and over, seemingly. And really, it makes more sense in the last couple of years. It's so obvious. It's just service to others. The purpose of life is to expand, to grow, to let go of old conditioning and old beliefs and old structures, and the more that you open up, you're filling your own cup, and now you can provide for others. because this world has a lot of struggle and suffering in it. I think we all know that. We can all relate to struggling and suffering, at least most of us.
Yep.
So, when I feel like I'm able to get to a point of less suffering and I feel better on a day-to-day basis, I feel good, I feel alive. I want to share that. I want to spread it to other people, and I just want to help other people to feel better, whether it be putting food in their bowls, in their bellies, or whether it be helping someone to let go of these old beliefs and structures that they still have built up. That's it. That's purpose. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I feel that. I do. I do. Mike, did you have anything else to add to that? Is your Ikigai the same or has it changed for you as well?
No, like it's obviously very similar to Corey's because what we work at every day and what our passion, our why is to help others. It's to help other people. And like Corey said, that's not only just providing meals, but that's helping people drop that old conditioning, those old patterns that are not self-serving. So like we've both been through such a personal journey with this business. Like I always say to people that like this business is such a fantastic tool for our own personal growth. It's been incredible, and as we've gone on over the past 8 years, our it's almost like our why and our values are shifting along with the business, and it's reflecting us personally. So yeah, it's just kind of it's constantly adapting, but we're both in a similar place now where we want to help obviously as many people as we can, not only with food, but to help people just live happier lives, because so many people get caught in these patterns and depression, especially the way the world is now. It's a challenging landscape to navigate through, and anytime you can make someone smile even or just improve someone's day in the smallest way, it's so important and it goes a long way. So that's my belief set as well.
Absolutely love it. I agree with you guys as well. I'll share with you as well personally. So I grew up in a Caribbean household, and the reason for me, which is now my Ikigai, which is raw talk, of course, is just the idea that I wanted people to be able to have conversation and speak. I had anxiety and depression growing up and into my teens as well, even early 20s, because I grew up in a household where what happens at home stays at home. You don't talk about it, you don't have any conversation about it, and it can be very detrimental to your mental health, which it was for me. So now my purpose for people or my Ikigai is showing everybody unconditional love because I'm someone that's all that somebody needs, just to know that somebody actually cares because they haven't heard it enough and also breaking that idea or that traditional idea of no, it stays at home, keep it quiet. Like no, talk to your kids, allow your kids to ask you questions, and vice versa. I mean, I'm like 30 now. I still go to my parents like, hey, I remember this, and just have conversation to understand things and be more open that way. So I definitely understand what you guys are saying. And what I did learn, which I sounds like you guys have as well, is it never stops. There's no day off. Even when it's your day
Exactly.
off, you're still mentally there, you know?
Yeah, it becomes who you are. It's part of you
Yes.
constantly.
Yes. Okay, let's keep going because you guys know I'm excited to get raw. That's like my favorite part. So let's keep going here. So, what industry would you guys say exactly you're under in particular? Like, what exactly is your umbrella if you're under one? And what has been your toughest entrepreneurial lesson thus far?
Great questions. I think, well, we're a social enterprise business, so we're for profit, for purpose. Um, and it like we call ourselves a clothing brand or a lifestyle brand, if you will. Because we're trying to branch out. When we started, it was just basic for t-shirts, hoodies, hats. But we're branching out now. Necklaces, candles, water bottles, yoga pants. We're trying to give, maybe t-shirts not for everybody. Maybe a hoodie's not for everybody. We're trying to provide as many options as we can, and TenFed's really for anyone. And yeah, our mindset is like just people are looking for ways to help out and give back, and if we can make that easy for them and provide them a lot of options of a lot of cool stuff they'd like to purchase, then yeah, we're everybody wins in that scenario. You get to give back, you get a cool item, and then ten meals are provided. So
Yep. I love the crop top and the dad hat. I was creeping. I was creeping. I was looking through them. I was like, oh, which one am I gonna get? I love
go
I
away.
love them. And the tights was a nice touch. It was a very nice touch, gentlemen, I must say. Thank you for thinking of the ladies as well. Appreciate that. Great.
We
Okay.
try.
Thanks. I'm sure they noticed. I did. So there you go. All right. So let's keep going here. We're almost there. So, do you believe? Okay, so this is when I start to like, I said, let's get a little bit deeper. So when I kind of poke at the mind a little bit, right? Do you believe a human being can live just off food alone? Or are there other forms of nutrients that are required? Think outside the box of this.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting question. And I mean, like automatically my brain went into logic mode when I hear this. And I know that you're look when you look at a deeper level, I mean, I think humans generally need communication, connection, love, growth. You know, the Tony Robbins event we went to, he was saying if you're not growing, you're stagnant, you're dying, you don't feel alive. So in that sense, you always want to be growing, whatever that means to you. And there was, there's something about I don't remember exactly where I heard this, but uh, there was some story about people in a certain tribe where when they would get kicked out of the tribe years ago, years and years ago, they would get kicked out of the tribe, and all of a sudden they would lose a sense of community and belonging, and they would actually die from depression and from just not feeling like they had anyone, and they would actually die. So this idea of feeling connected, and in my opinion, that starts in here. Like you can feel connected without anybody, but it's still something that is super important, I think, to living is feeling connected to whatever that is for you, other people, feeling connected to source or God or whatever you might think it is. But there's something there for each person that they have to feel connected.
Yes. Yes. Okay, Blukes. Now let me just say really quickly, sorry, just in case you guys don't know, because I don't think I mentioned it. Blukes is a term, or Raw Talk with Mel, that we use when you have made an amazing point, change my perspective. So if you hear it, I'm not making fun of you. I am saying that was an amazing answer. Feel free to use it too. Blukes, utilize it. It's Blukes, no problem. But that's why I said Blukes to that, because bringing up the tribe and even the thought of like them being on the person being on their own and them actually dying from it, I would have never thought that. Like I would have thought, okay, they'll just figure out their new identity on their own. But if you're used to that sense of community and you don't know anything else, I can understand that. I can understand that. Mike, what about you?
Yeah, it's a great question because when you think outside the box, like you think about your hierarchy of needs and that need to feel loved, that need to, have your psychological needs met, the need to fit in, which is it's more and more challenging, especially like I said, in today's landscape, that need to fit in and that need to feel loved and like you're part of a tribe. It's essential. It's not just about food, but humans are complex beings. We need to be growing on all levels, on spiritual levels, on emotional levels, and we're constantly being almost forced to adapt to our environment, our constantly changing environment. So similar to what Corey said, if Tony Robbins says it all the time, but if you're not growing, you're dying. So constantly moving forward, that constant never ending improvement. He constantly stresses that, and that's something that I firmly believe in. That goes with business, that goes with personal life. That's really applied everywhere. Is that you're constantly shifting, you're constantly adapting. You have to be almost like a chameleon, just constantly shifting and adapting to the environment. And Yeah, it's if you want to be successful in business, you have to have the mindset that you need to be able to adapt and shift and be okay when things don't turn out the way you think they should, because the universe has its own plans and it doesn't always seem to make logical sense to us. But things are shifting in motion that are not even in our field of vision, and yeah, that's the belief and mindset that we always try to carry, especially in business, because you know let's get real. Things don't always go exactly how we planned.
No.
Blukes, Blukes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Blues, for sure. Perfectly utilized, guys. Thank you. Yes, I agree with that. Um, I like that you guys brought spirituality as well, because I feel like sometimes people forget about that, whether it's the universe or whether it's God, whatever it may be for you, right? I feel like that's also very important as well, because it also affects your mindset, even if you don't really realize. But there's something that you had mentioned earlier, Corey, which is that it starts in here. And
Yes.
that is extremely important because people sometimes forget to also learn how to rely on themselves. They're so used to just relying on somebody else, a family member, their mom, or and it's not just providing. I mean like emotionally as well and mentally. But you got to be able to train. Something that I had to learn even over the last year was I said I don't want to fall in love with a bunch of things around me or people. I want to fall in love with myself first so that I can then fall in love with other things around me, other people around me. You know what I mean?
Love
And
that.
I feel like that is start here, of course, and also just knowing yourself. Some people, I feel like a lot of people walk around, they don't know who they are. And it takes time. I mean, I think we're constantly learning who we are, to be honest, until the day that we die. Because, like you said, you're constantly evolving, you're constantly growing. But I feel like you kind of have to have a
Mhm.
sense of who you are to kind of steer yourself and what you really
Yeah.
want to start to go for.
Yeah, and the more that you chip away at a lot of that programming that's been built up over, 20, 30, 40 years, like chipping away at that programming, it's like you don't even have to go looking anywhere to find who you are. Like you just chip away old programming and then eventually you start to come through, like you start to shine through when you get rid of all that stuff, the
Yes.
junk, and then now you're okay with yourself. You don't need community, but it's incredible when you start to connect with other people in community because you're authentically shining through. It's pretty incredible.
Yes. Oh my goodness, I don't have anything. Blukes. There's nothing else to say after that. That was perfect. That was a nice seal in the dot. Boom. Okay. Let's keep it going here. You guys are well rounded. I appreciate it. You're not close minded at all, which I enjoy. I like that. So thank you again. But let's keep going. So tell me about the happiest moment in your life. Okay. Now, you guys know I'm not going to make it that easy on you. So the next part of it is, now, was it your happiest because it was under the three pillars of your life, which would be like things that are most important to you? Or was it just the simplest thing, but it ended up meaning the world to you?
Oh,
Yeah,
great
I kind of get
question.
in there.
Yeah. Um, Definitely, like starting our business for me personally, that accomplishment and doing that, and it's not so much just that. It's not so much starting the business, but it disconnecting from the certainty and taking a leap into the uncertainty and realizing that I can do it and that it's possible and that actually believe in it. That's more of the moment. It's not so much just like, launching the website, starting the business. It's that whole piece of putting that together. Like knowing that you're no longer dependent on someone. It's like, I got this. It's a pretty big shift, mindset shift, when that happens. I would definitely put that up there as one of the top. It's so hard to say what's the happiest
It
moment.
is.
There's lots of obviously happy times with friends and with family. I mean, that's obviously all those pieces are very, very key components to life and just maintaining happiness and being joyful. Um, yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything that do you have a happiest moment? That's such a hard
Yeah,
question.
how
Uh,
about you, Corey?
yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go here that I think, like it is seemingly the little things that are actually a lot bigger. You can magnify the little things and you can realize that they're as big as anything else. Um, just being with family, like just being with family, with friends. The day that my brother was born, like I still remember that so vividly and how incredible that was. And just being there with my mom and my dad and my aunts and uncles and grandparents, like those moments looking back, it's even though there's lots of challenges with family that come up, I still the amount of gratitude that I have for that. And then I would just say, like, to fast forward, like looking at the screen right now and seeing that Mike is right next to me and I'm doing this talk with you, like I think that it comes down to like the amount of gratitude that I have for being here right now in this moment and sharing this with you guys. It's this is it. Like this is the moment. This is grace in itself. So I'm just really excited and happy to be here right now. And I'm not just saying that. This is really huge, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it too. I have the same exact feeling, like actually having you guys be here and be open and like, yeah, we'll do raw talk. I feel like I'm very blessed with this. So thank you. It's equal. Just know that as well. Okay. Okay, I want to do a little sherry share. Okay. So uh, my happiest moment is very simple yet big. Um it was when I graduated, when I actually had the moment of like walking across stage and knowing through all the battles and the struggles that I actually graduated from university. That was like, because there was so many times where I was like, I can't afford this book, so I'm not gonna pass this test, or And I graduated with honors, and I remember like breaking down before going on stage because I was just like blown away. And when I got out on stage, my older brother, because I'm the baby, my older brother yelled out like that's my hero, and I was like, oh.
Oh,
I was so done because he didn't actually get to go to school, but I did it for like both of us, so it was like
Wow.
the best
that's
feeling in the
incredible.
world for me. Yeah. And like everybody, I had a
Wow.
small group, but everybody that was there was like the people that meant the world to me. And we're all in like different areas and different, some of us in different like cities. So it was perfect. It was like perfect. So sometimes it's a small
Wow.
thing, but it's
Thanks for
big.
sharing.
No, that's
Thanks.
amazing. That's a great story.
Thank
Love that.
you. And I appreciate you guys sharing too. I really do. Some people get nervous, but you guys are sharing. I like it. Okay.
Nothing to hold back.
We're open books.
That's what I want. I would do like a little dance. I don't want to embarrass myself. Okay, so all
Be a
right.
kid, embarrass yourself. Just dance away. Don't
Just
worry.
dance away. Okay, it's gonna happen. But now that I'm on the spot, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm gonna do it at a random time. I don't want to do. Oh, everybody's gonna be looking, but it's fine. Okay. So last but not least, let's get a little bit deeper right before we get raw. I always like to put a deep one, and then we get into being raw. So if 10 Fed was failing, guys, like for some reason it's just not working out for you guys, whatever that may be, right? And the only way to keep it afloat was by starving yourself. Very thing that you're trying to not have others go through. For the rest of your life, would you do it? Keep it
No.
Well,
raw.
that
Keep
depends.
it
Yeah.
raw.
Yeah. Can we starve ourselves and stay alive? Is there like a cheat code here, or we're just starving
It's
ourselves for the next however long we last, and then that's it. We're gone.
exactly
So
what's happening. You're like, okay, well, we're just gonna keep doing this, guys, and then when we're gone, all right, I hope you keep it going. Like
I,
that's
I, I think it honestly boils down to the belief in ourselves and each other, knowing that we need to take fill the cup up first. Like make sure that you're good, take care of yourself. The amount of good that you can do in the world, 10 fed or not, um, it depends on our own well-being. And that to me, we got to take care of ourselves. And as soon as you're in that spot, you know it. And that might even be before you think you're ready, but you just go and you start doing it. But you got to make sure you take care of spirit, soul, body, and
yes.
then do what you got to do for the world.
the analogy that I love is when they're going over special instructions on the airplane, and they say when those masks come down in the event of an emergency, always supposed to put your own on first, and then you help others. That's kind of the mindset that we both have. Is that we need to stay alive, and we know the impact we can make over the next, decade, 2 decades, however long we're running 10 Fed. We know the amount of impact we can make, and we have to be obviously healthy and alive for that to happen. So
First of all, thank you for keeping it raw because like I was like itching. I was like, these guys are not about to tell me that yeah, we'll starve ourselves. I know. I cannot. I mean, maybe for somebody, but I just felt like, nah, these guys have too much integrity. They're gonna be honest about it. They're gonna keep it raw. Thank you though, because not you guys just said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm selfish. Like I don't want to do it. It's like, no, in order for me to make sure I can take care of you guys, I gotta fill my own cup. I gotta make sure I'm okay. Um, I must say, I'm learning from you guys because I like forget to eat, I forget to like sleep, I forget to do all kinds of stuff to do the show sometimes, and I'm kind of reminding myself with the help of my dad that you gotta take care of you so you can be help to others. Thank you for the reminder, guys. That is a
absolutely.
very big Blukes right across. Very big. So thank you. But this is now where I take a quick little break where we're just gonna say an artist or maybe something that caught our attention this week. And then after that, we're going to get raw. All right, guys? So for me, what I like to do is a song or an artist of the week that caught my attention, or even like a business that caught my attention. For you guys, your business is what caught my attention, of course. Hence, you guys doing the show this week. But is there any artist or maybe even any artwork that you seem to enjoy or that's really caught your attention this week?
Mm.
If not, that's okay. You can keep it
You
raw.
know what? I'm gonna go here is that we ended up partnering with an artist very recently, and I was just listening to some of his tunes today. His name's Danny Horovitz, like Danyhorovitz.
Okay.
Danny Horovitz, but he's got this like raw, folky kind of sound, and I just really resonated with it, and I just really enjoyed it. And he just sent a message and said, "Do you want to come out to the concert sometime whenever? I can't remember when it is. I think it's in June." But it all just kind of happened, and you're asking the question, and it just happened today. But I just felt like it really struck a chord with me, his music, and I just wanted to, go follow the guy, check out his tunes
Yes.
at Danny Horovitz. Yeah, it's really good.
I'm just writing that down. I'm sorry. Danny Ford.
I'll send you his
Ah,
Instagram.
thank you. That would be way more productive. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Mike, anybody for you, or are you in the same boat with him there? Or you're just like, ah, not this week, Mel. Not too much.
Um, no, Danny's fantastic. The I guess a new discovery for me this week. Corey sent me an abundance meditation on Spotify that I've listened to and meditated with 3 mornings in a row now, and
Same.
yeah, I've really really enjoyed it. And I don't even know who the guy is that does it, but it's about 38 minutes, and I'm really enjoying it. And I try to get into the just surrendering to what falls into my line of my path. And if I feel aligned with it, then I'll just say yes. This came to me for a reason. Lee Harris, Activate Your Abundance, it's called, and it's
Oh,
just been incredible. I've been really really enjoying it this week. So yeah, just share that.
I like it. Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. I actually listened to a sleep meditation every night. I find that it helps me kind of sleep at night. It's I literally just type in rain for sleeping and it's like the first one that pops up. I think it's like a certain amount of hertz. Don't quote me. I can definitely link it after or later, but it knocks me out pretty good and I wake up refreshed. Like, sometimes you are going to bed, you have a million thoughts and your eyes are closed, but you can't actually like go to bed.
Oh
It
yeah,
takes it away
for
from me.
sure.
It's almost like it helps me organize it while I'm sleeping. And then when I wake up, I'm like, ah, okay, I have this and this to do. Done. Like it helps me that way. So that's
Clarity.
great.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who knew that you could organize and get things done while sleeping, eh?
right? I wish they would have told me this a long time ago. But hey, everything comes on the right timing, right? So I was guess supposed to know now. So I'll take
Right.
it. And
Always.
an artist that caught me this week, her name is Nia Sultana, Niasultana. She has a little like jazzy mix with like a little R&B, which is very nice. It's very relaxing. And she speaks about real topics and real things. She's not always just talking about, I don't want to say crap, but crap. Like, like just like everyday things. Like she gets really deep, which I
Mm.
appreciate in a fun way. So yeah, check those out, guys. We just shared. Go take a look
Definitely.
and enjoy
Thank
them.
you for sharing. Yeah,
There you go. But all
sweet.
right, guys. Take some water sip. It is time to get raw. All right. So this is
Bring
a
it.
time where the raws know, and now you guys are learning where we are going to be addressing two topics this time. And the raw topics I'll state at the beginning before we go. And it simply is say what comes to your mind, ask any questions. Feel free to ask me. I can even ask you, and we'll kind of just bounce off of each other. And literally just keep it raw, which it just means honest. Okay, guys, just keep it honest, right? Be open. So, the first raw topic that we're going to be starting with was anxiety and COVID. So, I guess I'll start with this really quickly. So, I guess my kind of question is has if any of you did deal with anxiety, do you feel like it's gone down since now they're telling us that we can wear no masks? Because like when it first started for me, I was petrified. Okay, like petrified. The news really did a number on me. Got that fear going that they like us to have, right? And then after a little
Mhm.
while, I was like, okay, well, all I can do is like get vaccinated and or not and just go from there. But now that everything's opening back up, I don't know if it's a responsible thought, but I'm just like, okay, everything's opening back up. We don't have to wear masks. So I mean, like, let's just go. And it's like, should I be a little bit more anxious about that? Or like, what do you guys feel about that?
Well, the I agree. At the start, it was they put the fear into us incredibly. This was something we've never experienced in our lifetime before. So just that unknown and not even knowing what the potential consequences were. I think
Yes.
everybody was in the same boat. It was a lot of unknown, and a lot of people were terrified all over the world.
Yeah.
As time's gone on, I myself, I stopped watching the news. We really both never really watched the news to begin with, but I really just stopped paying attention to headlines and
Yep.
realized that living in a state of fear is a massive cause of anxiety. And you really, to be perfectly honest, my mindset is like, if it's going to get me, it's going to get me. I'm going to live my life the way I want to live my life. I'm not going to live in fear anymore.
Blukes.
And I'm just going to be completely open and honest with people about that. And I know that that doesn't sit well with some people, but that's okay. It's just who I am, and it's me being my authentic self. So that's kind of my stance on it at the time.
Thank you, because that is
And
where I am. I'm the same thing. If I get it, I get it. What can I do? I've done everything I can, right? Corey, what about you?
yeah, I would say honestly, it's like I think just living to your true self and being intuitive with whatever makes sense to you. And I understand, you got to be careful because there's a lot of ideas and beliefs and thoughts and opinions. And it's just okay for everyone to feel and think what they do, no matter what. But there is going to be a lot of navigation through that. And that would bring me to, I think that at the end of the day, too, it's been one of the biggest catalysts for growth for a lot of people. And, an old friend of mine, going way back about maybe like 25 years, um, he said, "This is the hottest ticket to be here now in exactly this time that we're in because we have to go through a lot. We have to go through a lot of growth, a lot of pain, and it's going to propel us as humans, as individuals, as a consciousness. We're going to grow. We're being forced to grow, no matter what way you slice it. So you do the best you can. You make your decisions, and you deal with consequences, and you grow. That's what else can you do? That's
Life.
we're here. We got to make
Right.
it happen.
Yeah. And I even say I agree with you on that because that's a blues, I guess, because I was even saying to people, I was like, I feel like COVID literally made everybody sit down stop moving for a second and decide if you're going to be the person that's going to reinvent yourself or add to what you want to do, or if you just want to stay. I feel like that's all that it really did. You
Dude.
choose who you want to be in this.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's a great way to put it. The choice is yours.
yeah,
It's like Corey alluded to, it's there's so much growth. It's like boot camp for the soul. It's like you're forced to grow in this environment, otherwise you're going to struggle if you're just latching onto your old beliefs and your old patterns and habits. You are forced to adapt in this environment for sure.
you have no choice. Literally. So, yes, I agree. Okay, now let me put this out there. Do you think that anxiety already existed? Yes, but do you think that COVID made a new form, so to say, of anxiety, or do you feel like it's just like anything else anybody could be anxious about? Like, do you think it was a different level? Like you could almost call it like COVID anxiety or something.
I I would like personally, I would say that it's all relative. Like anxiety is something that's within your body. It's an emotion which turns into chemistry in the body.
Yeah.
So it could be the smallest thing, and you feel something like on your neck, and you freak out and you jump out of bed and you're like, "What bug is on my neck?" And then you go, "Oh, it was just my necklace." But that created a massive amount of anxiety in your body, and then you realize what the truth was. Um, but it makes no difference what's true or not true. If you feel it in your body, that's it. I mean, you have the anxiety. So, um, COVID, not COVID. The way I look at it, it's just my opinion, is that, I mean, I'm sure that there's people who are going through it in ways that they didn't imagine possible.
Yeah.
But it's, for some people, the anxiety is coming in different forms, different shapes. So yeah, I suppose there is some COVID anxiety, but to me, it's just wrapped up into anxiety, no matter what way you look at it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, what I've noticed, Mello, is a lot of friends and people I know are experiencing I guess a different form of like reintroducing themselves into social situations. So it's a different form of social anxiety. It's almost like we've been conditioned to be get used to just being on our own, and now when an event comes up, and I don't think it has anything to do with COVID fear, like I don't want to go to this event because there's going to be people there and I might get COVID. I think it's a different form of anxiety of like I've almost lost that social, like that muscle memory of learning how to be around people again in that social situation. I see that, and that's quite prominent in a lot of people I know, where they're almost just content, just being like passing on certain social events, just being like, no, I'm good. I'm just gonna stay in tonight. I'm good with just being on my own.
Yes.
Versus like 3 years ago, they would have been all over that. They'd have been like, absolutely, there's gonna be 30 people there. Yeah, I'm down. Count me in.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Because I was gonna mention this. You can't like pay me enough money to like leave my house now. It's almost like I'm like conditioned in my brain now to just we were just talking about breaking out of conditions. But yes, it's almost like in my brain I've gotten so used to it that like I can get a message from a friend and they'll be like, "Hey, let's go out to eat." And I'm like, let's just say we
Order
watch
in.
movies, or do you want to
Yeah,
just
I hear
FaceTime
you.
me instead? We could just like talk through the screen, like like. And I kind of didn't realize I was doing it, and then after a while I was like, wait, hold on, when was the last time I actually just went out and got like an appetizer, or like just went for like a walk with people instead of just myself? Like when was the last time I actually like accepted an invite? It has been
Yeah.
forever,
Well,
personally forever.
also to just touch on that point, Mello, is like, okay, so for me personally, I don't go out to like giant social gatherings even close to the way I used to. But instead, I found myself going out in nature way more often, and just going
Yes.
and walking in trails, going down to rivers and just chilling, and going to the beach, going out to the island. And go figure, my anxiety actually dropped many levels during COVID because I started to just enjoy the little things, enjoy nature, enjoy taking walks by myself. And Yeah, so for me it's actually been a blessing to learn how to just go and do simple things and connect with nature.
Yeah. Actually, yes. Blukes. Yes. That yes. Because I just told you guys today I went for a walk. Yeah. Yeah. You know what else I found
Mhm.
too that actually, if anybody out there, any Roz or anybody, we're talking about anxiety, but if any of you are struggling with it, I personally, everybody's different, but I personally find water, being by any form of water, even the sound of water, was very helpful for me during this time. My pathway has like a little water area, and whenever I like stop there, I kind of just like sit by the pond and like, enjoy it for a little bit.
Beautiful.
It really does help me mentally. So maybe you could try it, or for whatever it is. There's always something different, but it does help me. But the nature itself, even like I almost feel more connected to nature. Do you get what I mean? Like when I walk outside now, I feel like before when everybody was hustle, bustle, go, 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 you didn't really pay attention to the beauty of the birds flying by. Or like the way
Yes.
the leaves sound and the rustling. Like each tree is kind of different. Like you didn't really notice those things, right? But now that you have time to actually like just sit there, be yourself, I hear everything. It's almost like amplified to me. I'm looking like a little crazy person. People walking by, I'm like, hey bird, like I'm Snow White or something. Hey bird,
Yeah.
hi butterfly. Like like having a good time. That's how it was for me. Um, but hey, whatever. I'm never afraid to be a weirdo, so it is what it is. I enjoy it. But I definitely agree with you there. Connecting to nature, it helped. It helped for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It did. Actually, now I think about it, it really did. Sorry, I'm just thinking about it again. Yeah. Okay. Did you guys have anything else to add to anxiety and COVID before we get on to this next raw topic?
No, I
We're
feel
going.
like we
Good.
covered it. Yeah, good.
All right. So, the next raw topic, Roz, is artists. Okay. Now, are you a real artist if you create virtually versus naturally? Now, by that I mean virtually is like, using a computer or using the apps, the pen. By naturally, I mean like the canvas or like having to mold a clay. Like, that. So, do you guys, I'll start with you guys this time, do you feel like there's a difference to it? Like, are you still an artist if you are virtual instead of naturally?
You know, uh, like human creative skill and imagination is not limited to anything at all. Like all of life, life itself is art. It's a canvas that you're painting on in a sense. So it like, maybe there's certain skills that take more time,
Mm,
but that doesn't equal art being better or worse. It's subjective. So no matter what way you look at it, yeah, art is art and it's a subjective thing. So if you're creating in any way and it's the lightest of skills, it's still creating using some type of skill
yep.
and you're creating something. If it's digitally, you create a tune digitally versus play guitar and spend like 30 years studying guitar and play something really cool.
Yeah.
It's still, they're both art. It's just that one is different than the other.
Mm,
That's the way I look at it.
I like it. I like. Okay, so let me do a quick question to that, right? So based off what you just said, if I had to say to you, okay, so these paintings behind me, these are me, right? I like to paint. So if I were to say to you, I have like someone standing beside me, and say I paint ebony. That's what this one is, right? So say I paint ebony, and then I have another artist. I give it to her, and I say, take free reign, right? But she does hers digitally. Now, if you were presented with both of them, say like 1 to 10, would you give us both a 10 for the effort and the work to do it?
Oh,
Ah! Ah! Or
I like that you're challenging me on
would
it.
it be a little would
Be
you be like, okay,
careful.
that's
Yeah,
10
yeah.
at 10, I give you like, 9.5, or like would it be different for you?
No, well, and this is the thing. Like, look, if you bring in the fact that like I know you now, and if you put your art in front of me and you put another digital form in front of me with all of the ties now, like I may look at it differently.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, if you just stuck two in front of me and there was no thoughts surrounding it. And I just looked at them and I just, from my heart, I'm like, I feel that one more.
Yes.
That wouldn't be a knock to the other one. It would just be like, that's what I'm feeling.
Yes.
So I don't know what I would do. I know you're asking if I would give this one or that one, but
Yeah.
I would have to be in that moment having those two in front of me, and then I would just choose. And then you might be disappointed or you
You're like,
might be
oh,
excited.
Corey. Yeah. No, okay, thank you. Keep it raw. Keep it raw. Even if I ask a question, you're like, you could be like, Mel, listen, like, feel free, okay? I'm not tough
But
on you
but
that
hey,
way.
just so you know, I do see your art in the background, and I do actually like I love that. But
That's
I
oh,
mean, it's just,
thanks.
yeah,
Thank you.
different yeah.
Uh, Fun fact, which is why I guess this came up to me as well, is so I used to love going to like look at little art shows, like look around at different arts, various arts. Kensington, downtown Toronto, amazing for various different kinds of
Mhm.
artists and artistry and art forms. And I saw this guy's painting one day, and I was like, that's really nice. And didn't think anything about it afterwards. And then later on, I had gotten home and I'm doing counseling because I talk to a counselor once a month. I never hide that. I put it out there. If you need it, go ahead. And one day she was like, you seem to like music, you seem to like art. Why don't you just try painting? And in my mind, I literally said to her, I was like, I'm not an artist. What are you talking about? Like, I don't even know what to do. Like, I don't even know. And she's like, well, part of artistry is it could be self-taught. It could just be expression. She's like, you could paint an X on a paper, but if it makes you feel good, then it makes you feel good. It doesn't determine if you're an artist or not. And I kind of paused and I was like, oh, that's a really good point. So one day I literally went to the
Mm,
dollar store, picked up a canvas and dollar store paints and painted that bad boy. And it just kept going from there. So that's why for me, like,
beautiful.
you don't, I agree with you. Like, in terms of being an artist, it doesn't matter whether it's natural and virtually. I have zero guidance, but I make things. They come out okay. So, it just
Yeah.
depends on what comes out of you. I don't think it matters, but I will say, skill set wise, I don't think we can really say that someone digitally has to use less skill because they still have to know how to angle their hand to get the right swipe on the computer or the tablet. Just like I would have to know how to angle my hand with a paintbrush. I feel like that is no different. It's just the materials at the end of the day that you're using.
Yeah, I
100%.
hear you. I also I do agree with the amount of time and effort, and when you see when you can almost see the energy that someone puts into their art, based on potentially the amount of work that they put into honing that skill, and you can just feel it when it comes out often, whether it be on paper or canvas or through a guitar or a piano. You can feel it. But yeah, it's like, in any given moment, it could be anything that you resonate with. It could just be that X in the middle of a page, and you might be like, I just love that. I don't know why I love it, but that was easy. Anyone can do it, but
Yeah.
something about it,
Yeah, that stroke
you
is a little
know?
bit different on the top. I couldn't do that. Like it could be anything.
Okay,
Yeah. Oh, Mike, did you have anything to add to it, or are we just taking it away for you there so far?
No, no, that's all good stuff. What you guys were saying was very relatable to me. For the longest time in my life, like I doodled a lot as a kid, and then once I got into my teens, like I stopped drawing. And I carried this limiting belief around with me that I'm just not a creative guy. I'm not an artist. And then in the last few years, especially since we've needed to get creative with the business, I've started to challenge myself on that mindset, saying, like, no, I do have creativity in me. I just need to find ways to access it and tap into it. And I'm
Blukes.
starting to become more open and more free with it and believing in myself that I am a creative person. I just need to get it out. So yeah, it's something that it's been a process for me. I don't play any musical instruments or anything like that. So I'm looking for ways to just express myself, and I think that expression. I loved how you said that. Just that X on the page. Whatever resonates with you, whatever you feel, and you feel it in your heart, I think that's art. And like we're all our own story. We all have a story, right? And we're the star of the show in our own story. So we're definitely all artists. We definitely all have creativity. It's just a matter of we all express it in different ways. But that's the beauty of life, is it just all comes out different, and nobody's the same. And but it's a beautiful thing. It really is.
And thank you for mentioning that. I do have art in me somewhere. I just have to figure out how it comes out of me. Pretty much, like it is in there. I do have creativity. It's just different.
Mhm.
Someone's creativity could be like
Yeah,
cars. Detailing to me, that is art. Somebody else's
Yeah,
creativity or art could be literally slicking down the smoothest pavement I've ever seen in my life where the car just grazes over it. It could be anything to me. So I think that's amazing. Or even like walking out in nature. That is art. If you just take a look around,
absolutely.
it's
yeah.
There's
natural art.
there's certain and there's certain people who can just speak so flowingly and artistically, like the words that they use, the way they piece them together, and it can all be art.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. Sorry, guys. I just like it when people are able to like connect with that. It makes me excited. I get excited. Let me stop. Okay. So it is hitting 6:03, so I do have to let these amazing gentlemen go. But beforehand, guys, what is the one thing that you guys think everybody should take out of tonight's show? The one biggest thing that really like sat with you that you want everybody to remember. Ooh.
I'd say be true to yourself. Always be authentic to yourself, and don't be afraid to speak your truth, because it's who you are. And I went through the longest time in my life where I would just tell people what they wanted to hear.
Yeah.
I wasn't raw. I wouldn't have been able to been on this show a few years ago. I held a lot in, and I started to realize that I wasn't actually being myself. And then when I started to actually express myself and be true to myself, I just felt like I was just in flow, and I was just naturally a happier person in general.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Corey,
Uh, oh yeah, we've talked about a lot.
it's
This
hard.
has been really good.
Whenever I
I
do this,
think
everybody's like,
I would say that, I'll bring it to the just paint your picture, like the just look at life as a canvas
Yeah.
and don't worry so much about whether you make a mistake because again it's subjective. Enjoy it. Just paint. Just be like live your life. See intuitively where you fall. Don't like Mike was saying, it does tie into that. Like don't just do things for other people. Like what does your heart say? And then just start painting. Like just live life. Enjoy it because we're here. You might as well.
Live. Literally live, guys.
Live.
We haven't lived for like 2 years. Well, some of us, but find ways to live, right? Thank you guys both
Abs-
for that. I agree. For me, mine would be I actually learned it from you guys today, which was if you're not growing, you're stagnant. Okay? Like if you're not constantly changing, you're not trying to constantly evolve, you're just staying stagnant. That is gonna stay with me, guys. Thank you so much for that. Like that, I'm gonna keep in my brain. The days where I'm like, I don't want to do this today, that is going to really stick with me. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that gem. I will keep it. And guys, I appreciate your bravery, Mike, for admitting like, I wasn't really a raw person, but now I go for it. I respect that, and I'm proud of you for that. And Corey, for you, thank you
Thank
for
you.
always being able to just be straight, open, and honest, and opening my mind up to this new idea. I genuinely appreciate it, guys. And I'm thankful that you guys also feel happy being on the show as I feel having you guys be as my Raws of the Week. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Mello, thank you very much. And honestly, like thank you for just being you. Like thank you for this, burst of energy and allowing us to have this space to be open and seriously for doing what you do and everything that you've gone through to come to this point and be having open raw talks and just letting people express themselves. It's really incredible and yeah, we really appreciate it. Thank you for having us on.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much, Mello. It's been a pleasure. You can feel your energy through the screen. It's something very special. And Yeah, we're very grateful that you had us on today, so we can't thank you
Thank
enough.
you. Thank you. And keep keeping those hearts big. You guys got big hearts, I could tell. Thank you. And please keep them up. Don't let anybody tell you turn it off or that's a bit too much. Keep it up because you guys are making a difference. You really are. And look out for me because I already know the three things I want to purchase. I'm just not saying it yet. Okay, guys. So at the end now, I just let people know before we go out where they can find you. So your IG or anything you'd like to share that they can go to is.
It is tenfed.com, and that is spelt out the number 10, TEN, Fed, FED.com. And then Instagram is at tenfed. And then same on Facebook, tenfed.
There you guys go. Make sure you go check them out. Check out the website too. It's actually like really good. Ladies, they got us covered too. I'm telling you. I know they're guys, but they got us covered. Okay, guys. And for Mellow, you guys already know Raw Talk with Mellow. It's Raw Talk with Mellow with dots in between. Very simple, guys, to find it on IG. And yeah, I'll keep it there. I'll keep it there for now. On YouTube, it's the same thing. Raw Talk with Mellow. But all right, gentlemen, I will let you go. Thank you so much for being Raws of the Week. Mike and Corey, you guys are great. Keep 10 fed up. Please don't stop for anything. Do not starve yourselves because we need you guys here. And again, thank you so much for being here. So have a great night
Thanks.
and continue to be a blessing to people.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, Mello.
No problem. Bye.
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 Hey guys. Thank you so much again. You both were amazing. I will definitely continue to promote this episode and support TEDFed. You are truly appreciated. Bella. Hey guys, thank you so much again. You both were amazing. I will definitely continue to promote this episode and support 10 Fed. You are truly appreciated. Mellow.